Hello everyone. In the previous video, we had a discussion on the topic like experiment of Faraday and Henry, magnetic flux, and Faraday's law of induction. And from the Faraday's law of induction, we have written an expression for EMF in the coil as E equals to minus N into d phi by dt. So N is the number of turns and this minus sign indicates the Lenz's law. So in this video, we will be discussing about the Lenz's law and whether this Lenz's law is in accordance with the law of conservation of energy or not. The Lenz's law states that the polarity of induced EMF is such that it tends to produce a current which opposes the change in magnetic flux that produced it. We already know that if a magnetic flux linked with the coil changes, then the current will be induced in the coil, and the direction of the current will be given by the Lenz's law. Here we consider a circular loop and a bar magnet in which the north pole of the magnet is approaching towards the coil. So when the north pole of a bar magnet is being pushed towards the coil, the magnetic flux through the coil increases. Hence, current is induced in the coil in such a direction that it opposes the increase in flux. This induced current will also has magnetic moment because we already know that current flowing through the conductor produces magnetic field. The north polarity of the magnetic moment will be such that it will be facing towards the north pole of the bar magnet. So the side of the coil which is facing the north pole of the bar magnet, there the north polarity will be developed. This is possible only if the current in the coil is in counterclockwise direction. So let me denote by an arrow. This represents the direction of flow of current, and this side of the coil, there will be north polarity of the magnetic moment. So we represent by N inside the loop. So this N will denote the north polarity will be facing the north pole of the magnet, and this arrow at the end will give the direction of the current. So which is counterclockwise direction. Now similarly, if the north pole is moving far away from the coil, what happens to the direction of the induced EMF in the coil? So here let us consider another coil and a bar magnet where the north pole is moving away from the coil. If the north pole of the magnet retreats away from the coil, then the magnetic flux linked with the coil will decrease. To counter this decrease in magnetic flux linked with the coil, the current will be induced in the coil in such a way that it opposes the decrease in magnetic flux, and this is possible only if the current flows in the coil in the clockwise direction. So let me give the direction of the induced EMF. So this is the direction of the induced EMF which shows clockwise direction, and the south polarity of the magnetic moment will be facing the receding north pole of the bar magnet. So this side will be the south polarity and this side will be the north polarity. So north pole of the bar magnet and south pole of the magnetic moment produced due to the current flowing through the coil, which will result in attractive force which opposes the motion of magnet and the corresponding decrease in flux. We write S within the coil in order to represent the south polarity which is facing towards the receding north pole of the bar magnet and also gives the direction of the induced current in the coil. So this is all about the Lenz's law. Now we discuss about the Lenz's law and the law of conservation of energy. If you look at this figure, this is a coil, this is a magnet, and when the magnet is being pushed towards the coil, then the current will be induced here, which is electrical energy. This production of electrical energy in the coil, whether it obeys the law of conservation of energy or not, because from the law of conservation of energy, we know that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but it can be changed from one form to another. Magnet is moving, as a result, current is getting induced, and when the magnet is not moving, there is no induced current in the coil. So this current will be flowing in the coil until and unless there will be a change in magnetic flux linked with the coil. So if the coil and the magnet both are stationary, then no current will be induced in the coil. The mechanical energy which is used in moving the magnet is getting transformed into electrical energy, which is produced by the induced current. So it is that mechanical energy which we apply to the magnet in order to move this magnet towards or away from the coil. It is that energy which has been converted into electrical energy here in the coil. This shows that Lenz's law supports the law of conservation of energy, where one form of energy is getting transformed into another. So the mechanical energy which we apply through the magnet is converted into electrical energy. So it is just the conversion of mechanical energy into electrical energy, and it supports the law of conservation of energy. So here we understood that no new energy is created. So this Lenz's law supports law of conservation of energy. Now the electricity or the electrical energy that is produced here, where will it go? Because the current will not be flowing for a very long time in the coil. As soon as the magnet stops moving, the current in the coil will be zero. The work done in moving the magnet is dissipated by Joule's heating produced by the induced current. So that electrical energy will be given out to the surrounding in the form of heat. As we all know that if a current flows through a conductor, then the resistance of the conductor will oppose the flow of current, and due to which heat will be produced, and it is that heat will be given to the surrounding. Now we move on to the next topic from the book, and the topic is motional electromotive force. Motional electromotive force means an EMF induced by the motion of the conductor across the magnetic field. So there will be two types of motion. One is linear and another one is angular. So first we consider a linear motion. And here is a question. Find the expression for the motional EMF produced when a straight conductor is moving in a uniform and time-independent magnetic field. So this represents uniform and time-independent magnetic field in which we place a rectangular conductor PQRS, and PQ is free to move. So if we move this PQ towards left with a velocity v, then the flux linked with this area will get decreased, and due to decrease in this magnetic flux, current will be induced in this PQRS, and the direction of the current will be clockwise. So we need to derive an expression for the EMF induced in this case. Now this area is rectangular in shape. Length will be denoted by L and breadth will be denoted by X. This length is fixed here, but this breadth or X will decrease as this PQ moves towards left with the velocity V. So consider rectangular conductor PQRS in which the conductor PQ is free to move. Then the rod is moved towards left with velocity V. PQRS forms the closed circuit enclosing the area given by A equals to L into X. Because the area of rectangle is length into breadth, length is L and breadth is X. So this is the area. As this PQ moves towards left the flux linked with the area will decrease. The expression for the flux enclosed by the loop PQRS is given by phi B equals to magnetic field into area. So using this equation, we get magnetic flux equals to BLX. Then the induced EMF is given by E equals to minus d phi B by dt. So this phi B we replace by this expression. Here B and L is constant, only the variable is X. Because if this PQ moves towards left, then this length X will decrease, which is equals to minus BL dx by dt. So if you look at this dx by dt, so dx is a distance, dt is a time. So distance by time is velocity, but the velocity here is from right to left and the direction of EMF is from left to right. So they are opposite in direction. So because of that, dx by dt is represented by minus v, minus into minus is plus bl, and this will be represented by v, where dx by dt equals to minus v. So this is the expression for the EMF induced. Now we consider the second case where the conductor is being rotated keeping one end fixed, and the question will look like this. A conducting rod rotates with angular speed omega, with one end at the center and other end at the circumference of the circular metallic ring of radius capital R, about an axis passing through the center of the coil perpendicular to the plane of the coil A. Constant magnetic field B parallel to the axis is present everywhere, so that the EMF between the center and the metallic ring is B omega R square by 2. So here we consider a uniform magnetic field, and we consider a conducting rod having length OP. So keeping this end O fixed, P is being rotated, and after some time, let's say it will reach somewhere here. So this is the position of rod at any time t. The movement of the point P of the rod will be just like a circle. We denote by a circular metallic ring here, and this circle has the radius which is equal to the length of the rod, and let the length of the rod will be given by capital R. As the rod is rotated, free electrons in the rod move towards the outer end due to the Lorentz force and gets distributed over the ring. Thus, the resulting separation of the charge produces an EMF across the end of the rods. So what happens while rotating is, as you know that inside the conductor there will be a free electrons, and due to the rotation the electrons will get deflected towards the P. So here the concentration of the free electrons will be more, here the concentration of the electron will be very less. Due to this separation of charge, EMF will be induced in this conducting rod. So now let us derive the expression for the induced EMF. The EMF induced across the length dr of the rod is given by, so here we consider a very small length of the rod denoted by dr. Then the EMF induced by a small length of the rod will be small, so that we represent by dE. So dE equals to magnetic field into velocity into the small length of the rod, which is dr. So this expression we got from the previous expression, which is E equals to BLV. So in the previous case, this L was the length of the rod, but here we consider only a small part of the rod first. So this L will be replaced by dr. So total EMF equals to integration of dE. So using the expression for dE from here and integrating from 0 to R, here we have to integrate over the entire length of the rod. So the length of the rod is from 0 to r, because total length of the rod is r. So integration from 0 to r, b v dr. But we know that v equals to omega r. So using this here, integration from 0 to r, b omega r dr. So this b and omega are constants. It can be taken out of integration b omega integration from 0 to r dr. So this integration of r dr will be r square by 2, and then lower limit is 0, upper limit is capital R. So this is the variable. So we put first the upper limit, then it will be b omega remain as it is within bracket. Upper limit is capital R. So capital R square by 2 minus lower limit is 0. So 0 square by 2 is 0 only. So at last we will get total EMF induced equals to b omega capital R square by 2. So this is the expression for the total EMF induced.